Yeah. Rule number one. Rule number one for Earth, for this life, I think, is learning how to chill the fuck out. I think we are kind of caught up in herd mentality, especially in terms of uh, stampeding. If you look out in nature when there's a stampede, there's obviously this uncontrolled inertia, uncontrolled um, actions going on. And I think that is the same in a collective of human beings, where instead of like charging like down the road, down the river, we are charging like towards the future with kind of like deer in the headlights, and we just like, okay, forward, 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 just cope, 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 without actually just stopping, because no one wants to be the first person to just stop, because I think there's a almost like instinctual nature in us to not be the first one to stop, because the one who stops gets eaten by crocodiles or gets eaten. So we are so afraid just to chill the fuck out. And I think that, yeah, we have to learn how to just stop. And this is why spirituality, learning metaphysics, psychology is so important, because it by understanding these modalities, you are developing a strong clutch. Because if you're gonna really go forward somewhere, or if you're gonna be high voltage within yourself, you're gonna have to have a great clutch. And so putting the clutch in, and so you can stick your gears into neutral, so that you can just simmer, you can just soften. And that is when you start to take yourself out of survival for the first time, maybe. And you can really start to trust, like, oh, and start to see and reflect, like, oh my gosh, I was in a frenzy and I wasn't even realizing it. And I was just chasing things because other people were chasing things, and I thought I had to be like other people because I'm a human being and instinctual. And then if I want to fit in, I have to look like and play the part of what other people are playing the part. So I'm always looking out to see and to change my identity to match the status quo of the collective. And then over time and over generations, we lose our authenticity, we lose our core, we lose a deep part of us that wants to come through, which we call the unconscious. And this is why emotions are so pivotal, and this is why we love music, because music gets us back in touch with those emotions that we maybe have suppressed, and we get to relive them and channel them and allow them to breathe, because under those emotions then you deal with the unconscious in Reikian terms, the orgone energy. You're dealing with the source of it, where there's not much storyline that's attached to the energy. It's more about just being present with the energy itself. And this is why developing a good clutch is important, because you learn to distinguish between, okay, what's the storyline of the energy and what's the energy itself, so that you can tap into either or, because they both are valid. You need the storyline to give you anchor points to match the energy, so that you can, like a disk, store data in a really crystallized way, so that your data is not like all over the place. Everything is organized, so it's easy for the energy to access the data points to let you know, the conscious mind, which is you on the surface, like, okay, what's happening, what's going on. And the more you pay attention to your dreams, to energy, to your emotions, the more that this link, this relationship is established. And that is when life is more, it's more effortless. You are more inclined to taste and not be afraid of pleasure, because everything is pleasure. Everything that is coming to you, maybe the breath, just taking a deep breath and releasing it. Oh, what a joyous expression that is. Maybe feeling the sunshine piercing through the clouds and then just hitting you in that moment. Oh my gosh, that is pleasure. Pleasure in just seeing someone and holding your gaze for maybe a split second longer, saying thank you, and then going away. Little things in life start to make sense to you, and you start to read the currents of the ocean much more smoothly. And just like a pro surfer, they make surfing look so easy because they understand the currents of the ocean. They know where to go, duck dive. And a beginner surfer is just like, everything is just so difficult. And I suppose that is experience in the in the realm of Jimi Hendrix. Are you experienced? I suppose that is what we can come to, and this is why we have many lives and we come here over and over, not just to ascend to starlight spangled bangers, but to be better connoisseurs of life, because there's so much more to taste of what is going on here at the moment. And yeah.